Hey guys, this is Heather from healthyveganrecipes.net. So today we're going to make a really quick, easy, simple, but super tasty spread that you can use in a variety of different ways. I like to have it on hand for lunch, and you can spread it into a sandwich, you can make it into sushi, a whole bunch of different things that you can do with this. We're also going to make it really nutritious by adding a few special ingredients. You can find all of the measurements over on my site at healthyveganrecipes.net, and what I'm going to do now is show you exactly how to make it. First thing I've got here are some edamame beans, which are the green version of soybeans, and I buy them frozen and out of the shell because it involves the least amount of hassle for me. So pop those into a food processor or a blender if you don't have one, but it'll be a little bit trickier in the blender. And we're going to add a little bit of water to get things going. And just blend those up until they're somewhat smooth. Alright, next thing into the food processor is some miso paste. This is fermented soybeans, and it might look like chocolate, but trust me, it is not. Throw that in and get the edamames down from the side. Now what miso does is it's really salty, so I use that instead of salt in this recipe. So get things just kind of mixed around in there so that it'll blend up again. And we'll add a few other seasonings. This is some toasted sesame oil. Now you need very little of this. It is quite potent, so be careful with it. Next, I've got some apple cider vinegar. You only need a little bit of that too, but a little bit more than the sesame oil. That'll just brighten up and give it a little kick. And then you can use ground ginger or fresh ginger. This is one of our special ingredients that boosts the nutritional content of this spread. Ginger helps to soothe any kind of indigestion, so you often hear it with motion sickness, morning sickness, but it also helps boost your metabolism, so it helps you actually digest this dish. Okay, so give that another blend, and you can add a bit more water if you need to get it going smoothly, especially if you're using a blender. You might need some water. Special ingredient number 2, avocado. I love avocados. I know a lot of you love them too, but there are people who don't like them, and putting them into a spread or a dip or something like that is a great way to enjoy them because it's not quite as mushy. And I don't know, I think that maybe that's why people who don't like avocados don't like them. Anyway, avocados are fantastic because they are a perfect source of healthy fats, which are an important part of an overall healthy diet. And I've been talking about fats on my nutrition blog over at healthyeatingstartshere.com. Now, avocado isn't necessarily good for omega-3, which is one of the essential fatty acids that I was talking about this week, but it's good for healthy fats in general. Plus, it tastes amazing, and it's going to make this dip super creamy and delicious. Alright, so check out how we're doing. Things are looking mighty creamy around here. Now if you're using a blender, you're going to have to add water probably, and it's going to be more like a dip than a thick spread, but delicious nonetheless. So it's always a good idea to add a little bit of fat to a dip or a spread because it helps it get to this consistency. Otherwise it's a little bit chunky. So if you want to sub out the avocado, you can use like a nut or seed butter. That would probably be my choice, like a tahini or a sunflower seed or an almond butter. Alright, so are you ready for special ingredient number 3? It is some fresh sprouts. Phil and I have gone a little bit sprout crazy in the last little bit, and we have a ton of them growing on our windowsill. And so I want to throw a bunch of these in here, and I'm going to throw in a lot. You don't have to put in this much, but I've got a lot of sprouts, so there we go. And if you don't want to use sprouts, another excellent choice would be some fresh herbs. Sprouts and fresh herbs both have a ton of nutrients and chlorophyll, both good things. and they blend up really nicely into this spread. Now the nice thing about putting them in the spread is that you can take a big volume of sprouts, like I've got my thing pretty much full, and it'll compress the volume. Same thing with fresh herbs, so you could use fresh parsley. If you're a cilantro fan, it would be phenomenal in this recipe, as would fresh basil if you got a bunch growing in the garden and you want to use it, throw it in here. Awesome. So blend that up and then give it a taste for taste. All right, check it out. Fully blended, and the sprouts have got it back to green. Mine turned a little bit brown because my miso was quite brown. And so it's time to give this a little taste. Really nice, but I need a little bit more flavor, so I'm gonna add some more ginger, maybe some fresh ginger, a little bit more sesame oil, a little bit more miso, just to boost things up a bit. So like I said, you can enjoy this in a variety of different ways. You can spread it on some bread and make a big veggie sandwich. Do the same thing with a wrap. You could put this on a pita and bake it with some vegetables on top, kind of like a pizza. What I think I'm gonna do is actually roll it in some nori, make it into kind of a sushi with some vegetables that I have shaken. It's one of my favorite ways to prepare mushrooms and zucchini. So they've wilted. You just put a little bit of salt and vinegar on there, or tamari soy sauce, and shake it. And they wilt right down. It's awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, you can find the recipe over at healthyveganrecipes.net.